I feel like the issue with The Boys finale is that, you know, when in a horror movie, when the demon or the monster is far more scary before you see them, like in The Mummy, for example, when you had the mummy and then it's all scary, you can't see him, and then you see the mummified body and then it's all scary, but then he just turns into a very kind of moisturized, handsome, bald headed guy. And that's kind of the issue that The Boys fell into. Like earlier, Homelander was terrifying because you knew that if he wanted you dead, that means you are dead. There's no one that can square with him properly, no one that can go toe to toe with him. He's an unstoppable force and he's just terrifying, but he's still trying to appear reasonable, trying to get people to love him. So he's always calculating. He's always presenting himself to be the standard superhero. I'm here for America. I'm here for the people. But behind that is a very unstable man trying to figure out how can he get away with unleashing his deep desires of mass murder. Like every scene with him, you don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to die? Who's going to survive? It's absolutely terrifying. And when you have someone like that and you've shown their abilities, you know they've got super speed, they are literally Superman. Just on the flip side, you've got two options. Either you have the budget to find ways to, you know, 'cause in normal conditions, like Superman, in normal conditions, you can't beat him. So the only way to beat him is to create abnormal conditions that work in your favor. Kryptonite blocking him from the sun. He has like two main weaknesses, or love is his weakness. But unless you can harness that weakness, then you're screwed. And 9 times out of 10, if Superman were to flip on humanity, you are screwed. So you have to bank on that last 1% and use your battle IQ to subdue this person. You know, the stakes are crazy. Like, it's terrifying. Even in that deleted scene on the Justice League movie when you had bad Superman, even the stakes were far bigger. They had the budget to show Superman as he is. If you haven't got the budget to fully show Homelander's full abilities, and instead you only have budget for like hand-to-hand brawls and stuff like that, then you run into an issue. Because every time you show somebody able to properly stagger him, like you show Maeve able to make him bleed, stab him in the eardrum, V-Duck Butcher is able to go toe-to-toe with him, Soldier Boy is able to go toe-to-toe with him, Soldier Boy, Huey, and Butcher are able to hold him down. Now you go from an unstoppable force to someone that you would be forgiven to think, as opposed to being scared of him, why don't you all just jump him? Because, you know, you guys seem to be doing quite well. Maeve did quite well, you did quite well, Butcher. Soldier Boy, you did very well. Huey, even you held him down, so why not just jump him? You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's not an unstoppable force. Like, you've shown him get staggered by multiple people in situations where they want some, you know, crazy battle IQ, some crazy intellectual way to overcome this overpowered person. It was just, yeah, man, I'm just gonna V myself up and go hand to hand with him. And you did. And if that was the solution, then by all means, in season 3 in Herogasm, that should have been the end of it. But at the very end, it should have been the end of him, because you had Maeve there, you had V-Duck Butcher, Soldier Boy, Maeve. The three of you should have been able to deal with him just by the power that you showed already. You should have been able to hang with him and deal with him quite easily. But you had to make, oh no, the show can't end there. So you had to prolong the show by creating some stupid moment. No, Ryan. And then Butcher goes against Soldier Boy and it just becomes a hot steaming mess. By then, Homelander's entire aura is mainly gone, because if you think about it, he's not exactly that powerful. He's not a city level threat or a world level threat. He's literally barely a room level threat. Like, yeah, he was the strongest person in the room, but it's not like you guys weren't doing damage. And then if you stop taking turns like Puddy from Power Rangers, then you guys could take him out. It would have been far smarter if, as opposed to, if you haven't got the budget to do a fight that shows his true capabilities, super speed, so on and so forth, then the best thing to do is to try do near victories, using battle IQ to try and trap him. And every time you try to trap him, he gets away and you barely escape, stuff like that. But, you know, really sophisticated things where, as opposed to going hand to hand with him, you're actually using your brain to come up with traps that almost get him. And it's like terrifying, intense, like at any moment you guys could die kind of thing. But instead you show hand to hand combat. Homelander clearly bleeds, you know, he's not that strong. There's no kryptonite, nothing like that, nothing weakening him. It's just, you know, you guys are just going toe to toe with him. And every time you go toe to toe with him, the myth gets weaker and weaker, and then you'll be forgiven for asking the obvious question. You now have A-Train on on your side, you have Annie on your side, you have Ryan on your side. Soldier Boy was at your side before you fucked him over. You had Queen Maeve there. All the soups that you had on your side, you guys, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to stomp him out. Forget depowering him, forget the virus. All of you could have just stomped him the fuck out. Apparently, he doesn't seem that strong. And in this final fight scene, how Butcher, like right here, yeah, we've seen you slice Kimiko in half enough times, and now you're not slicing Kimiko in half. How are you tanking that? And we're not going to say that the radiation blast gave her enhanced powers, because they never once specified that. They never once said that. All she can now do is blast radiation from her chest. Didn't he slice a hole, like a little gap in his own skin to inject the V? So his lasers are strong enough to make a hole in him, but he can't make a hole in other people. Don't make no sense. And like, you know, if you want to shut your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is, you can. But me, I like consistent storytelling. I like continuity. And in my mind, just from what they've shown, there's no reason why Butcher should be able to 1v1 him like this. Because like, he's basically beating him up. Like Homelander's getting some punches in, but he's basically, you know what I mean? Like, he's just flying so slow. And just, you know, I don't know. In my mind, I think it would have been far better that if you don't have the budget to fully find ways to fight him in ways that doesn't nerf Homelander, then the best bet is to, you know, get near victories, traps, near misses, make it like a cat and mouse type thing, really like horror movie-esque with the kind of satire that makes the show good. But the, you know, the first season really really captured that horror feeling, that uneasiness that you felt whenever Homelander was on you or like in the room with you, how you couldn't tell what he was about to do and all that type of shit. I think that would have been far stronger. And just whatever the fuck we got. I know people don't care about power scaling too much, but I do, because I like consistent storytelling. I like storytelling that makes sense. And if you're going to show someone that's meant to be an unstoppable force, but see them habitually get beaten up by people that shouldn't even be able to touch him, at the end of it, he's getting 1v1 with Butcher, who just got his ass kicked by Bombsight. Like, what? So is Bombsight stronger than Homelander? Then forget the V1. You guys should have just been like, hey, I got an idea, yeah. We got Butcher here, we got you, Bombsight, yeah, we got Annie over here. The plan is, fuck the virus, fuck anything else. We're just gonna jump him. We're gonna jump him. You know what I mean? Apparently, he's not that strong. Like, you know, like literally when Annie was like, yo, A-Train, come and save us later, or you know, jump on the mission. Forget all that. You guys should have jumped him. A-Train, enhanced durability, you know, because like, you know, ain't A-Train stronger than Kimiko? Because A-Train beat Kimiko's ass time ago. And, you know, Homelander caught up with him and then broke his neck, but seems to be struggling to break Kimiko's neck in the final fight. I don't know, man. It's a complete and utter brain fart, you know, and I've seen different takes and some people like, hey, man, you know, you kind of had to nerf him a little bit to make it work. Why are we at a point where we're making excuses for bad storytelling? Are we that desperate? Is the bar that low? Is the bar that low that we have to be like, hey, man, yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, he was weaker, but hey, that's how it rolls. Like, no, like this ain't a fucking B-Tech school project. Like this is a big studio and you're telling me they can't give us at least semi-competent filmmaking? Like, no, give me a break. So yeah, 1 out of 10 for me, man. Even with the final bit with Homelander being weakened, I just, no, man, dead.